Hello? Hello, Bryan?
Yeah, just a minute. Hey, listen, sorry, I don't have a lot of time. It's Bryan from This, That, and the Other. Look. Okay, I want to tell you everything. I want to tell you the truth about wood. You want to know about the real stuff? You want to know why the Earth is hollow and why we're being run by aliens? You want to know about the stuff they're putting in your Gatorade and why you should be eating your dogs and why renewable resources are a lie and we're living inside of a hologram. And I'll tell you all this, but you have to listen to This, That, and the Other. You have to subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher. Don't tell Sam though. Don't tell him.
What are you doing? Are you making an ad without me?
No, listen, I gotta go. Subscribe to This, That, and the Other.
You bastard.
9/11 was a lie. What happened to buildings?
And now for another episode of Happy News with Perry Kurtz, the perfect little pick-me-up to make your frown turn upside down. And now your host, Perry Kurtz.
Hi there, this is Happy News with Perry Kurtz, and I am Perry Kurtz, in case you couldn't figure that out. Well, welcome to the show. I'm going to be your host. Today we are going to talk about happy things. We're going to try and make you feel good about the world, where it's going, my life, and even yours. So again, I'm Perry Kurtz, and we're going to just start rolling. Along with me, I have my co-host, the incredible, multi-talented.
I'm going to go with the producer on this one, just
right,
because you say some crazy stuff.
It's this other guy.
I can't be co-host to the stuff you say. I can only produce it.
You can't accept responsibility.
We're also in your very loud office.
Yes, we are. We are at can I mention where we are?
Mention all of it.
We are at the Oaks Tavern in Sherman Oaks, 6 nights a week.
You live here, don't you?
They karaoke. I am here 6 nights a week for karaoke because I love karaoke because I'm known as the legend because of my freestyle ability. So I come down here and I walk in there and everybody goes, "What are you going to sing tonight?" And I tell them, "Pick a song I don't know. It's better that way."
You're Jewish, though, right?
And yes, but I'm a bad Jew. On Easter, my daughter and I ate a whole pound of bacon for breakfast. You
Wow.
can't do that if you're a good Jew.
No.
My dead relatives are scratching at the lids of their coffin at the even thought of it. So I've come down here. I found this place 6 years ago, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the people that come here. On the weekend, it's about 60% female. And I don't mind that. I fit right in because I look so much like a Chinese lesbian. And the staff is great. It's a good area. People generally have a really good time. And it's a classy place.
It's classy.
It's an upscale dive bar.
And we're here because of the ghosts that brought in all the fog?
Oh, yeah. That's what that is.
You're talking about the fog?
The fog last night was unbelievable. I was driving at a mile an hour up my own street. And it was just, I couldn't see a car length in front of me.
Where does the ghost come in, though?
I think they came out of the exhaust pipe.
That's bad news.
Yeah, I know.
You need an exorcist.
They were those carbon dioxide ghosts. They're not really good. Hydrogen ghosts are better, but they're very flammable.
Oh, the ghosts?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you didn't know about that part?
You know, you teach me something new every day.
I'm surprised. I thought you knew everything.
Well, for you guys who may not know everything, this is Perry's first show without an actual guest.
Right. Today we are the guests.
So he's put me in the unusual position of making eye contact with him.
Oh, that I didn't think about that.
What do you have on your mind today, Perry?
Well, with the fog and all, here in California, we are really feeling the effects of the global warming and global cooling. 4 days ago, it was 36 degrees at night. The next day, it was 80 degrees. Today, it was 80. And by Saturday, which is the middle of November, it's going to be 90 degrees. But right now, outside, it's about 42. So the ups and downs of the weather out here are beyond belief. Plus, now they're talking about we are low on water. We're going to have a drought this year. Last year...
Low on water, the world's 80% water, Perry.
Well, last year was the first year in 9 years that we did not have a drought. We had enough water to keep everybody moist. You know,
That's not real. Those
Well,
aren't real numbers.
that's what they're claiming. But there's still a lot of women out there that are still moist.
So it's weather we're talking about?
Oh, yeah, we're going back to the weather. Weather or not, yeah. So the weather has been very, very bizarre out here. We have had hardly any rain.
No, we're talking about driving.
Oh, we're talking about driving. It's that driving weather. It's good weather for driving. I drive a lot. I've done about 180 miles in the past 3 days. But I've gone into Hollywood a lot, which is about 19 miles from me. Back and forth, back and forth. Plus, I have a small child, so I got to constantly pick her up at school and take her home and take her to dancing. So I drive a lot, and I love to drive. I really, really, really enjoy driving.
But you were complaining earlier.
What bothers me is the drivers. California seems to get the worst drivers in the world. When they get thrown out of New York and Illinois and other states because they're too bad to drive, they come here.
You kicked my desk over, though, Perry.
Huh?
I mean, you were angry about driving earlier.
Oh, I was, yeah. Well, because I'm getting tired of these morons changing lanes. I was driving on the 118, which is a east-west freeway out here.
I mean, you were yelling some vulgar stuff earlier at people. That's how angry you were.
Well, I do that.
That woman had children with her.
No, I don't yell at children. But I just get tired of these people, and my daughter's getting nervous because I'm at a point now, if I'm at a light and the light changes and there isn't a half a second and they start beeping, I just flip them the finger.
Oh, yeah.
And my daughter's going, Dad, you're going to be involved with road rage. Somebody's going to tell you to get out of the car. I goes, good. I'm going to kick the door open and knock their ass down when I kick it open. I had a guy driving one of those super big pickup trucks. Now, see, I've noticed patterns. As a comedian, I pick up on things that repeat themselves. The worst drivers are the big pickup trucks with the giant wheels. And what I've noticed in common is the color. Black and white vehicles are usually the most aggressive.
Okay.
With blackout glass, because they don't want anybody to know who the asshole is that's driving. So I was driving, doing 80 miles an hour in traffic, 2:30 in the afternoon. Everybody's doing 80 miles an hour. All of a sudden, the pickup truck with wheels that came up to the middle of my side windows. The tires were at least 3.5 to 4 feet high. All of a sudden, he cuts me out, misses me by 3 inches, half my penis length, and I was cutting off 3 inches for our listeners.
I apologize.
I'm sorry. But he cuts me off, and then he hits his brakes. And I screeched, and I slid into him. But my car hit the tires. All of a sudden, he kicks his door open. He gets out. He's like 6'8". He's like 4 feet across, solid muscle. With one
Just
bicep.
your type.
Yeah, one bicep's the size of my chest. And he comes back and taps on the window. So I roll the window down, and I look and I smile and I go, can I help you? Yeah, you could help me, man. What's your problem? I said, well, my problem is I was driving at 80 and you just cut me. I said, well, you hit me. I said, well, you just cut me out and then you slammed your brakes on. I didn't have a choice. He said, well, you hit my truck. I said, really? Back up. He says, what? And he backs up and I kicked the door open as fast as I could. And my whole car's shaking. And he jumped. And I said, let's go take a look at this. So we walked to the front of my car. He said, see, you hit my truck. See this mark? I said, your bumper is next to my neck. The hood of my car is next to my waist. There's no way, unless my car jumped 3 feet up in the air, that I could have hit your bumper. He said, well, you hit me. I said, if I did anything, I hit your tires. He said, no, man, you hit my truck. I said, you know what? Let's go back to my car and look at the dash cam. He throws his arms up, turns around, gets back in his truck, and peels out. Man. So drivers, spend $10, get a dash cam. Always be prepared for the unexpected. And then you've always got a recording. There was a lady in the news. She dropped her son off outside of school at some event. A car pulls up in front of her, and there's a man and a woman, and the woman's trying to get the son into the car. Get in the car with us. Turned out the man who was driving was naked. The woman starts yelling, come back here, come back here. Had the whole thing on her dash cam. She's got the license plate. You could see the guy moving around, see he wasn't wearing a shirt. And, of course, they went to jail. You can get it for $10. Put them up on your dashboard. The way they work is they recycle. Every 15 minutes it starts over. So whatever happens in the 15 minutes back from when it stopped, you've got it.
Well, maybe that has, maybe that's why our first good piece of news has happened. Road fatalities decline in 16 states.
Wow.
Looks like 16 states.
That's because I'm not allowed to drive there.
Exactly. That and their wheels are too big for you over there.
I can't get over
in
those
all
wheels.
16 states. But it looks like in Vermont, South Dakota, and Connecticut have a large percentage of decline in roadway deaths compared to the first 6 months of 2018. What do you think about that, old man?
I think that's. I'm very surprised. I would
You've
not
seen
think
a dead body before, right? From
Yeah.
an accident.
Yeah, I've seen that. Couple fights, but I'm surprised. I'm definitely surprised.
You don't
But
think
see,
the cameras have something
I
to do
don't
with
live
it?
out there, so I don't know. All I know is out here, they're definitely up because of the road rage out here, because people don't care. They don't use their turn signals. They sure don't know how to look to see if there's anybody in the next lane. And then if they cut you out and they almost hit you and you beep at them, then they try to ram you. Or you put your turn signal on, indicating that you want to go into a lane, and they speed up and they block you, and then they smile at you like death getting ready to have a dinner.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm not letting you in. So out here, it's the opposite. But I think those are places where people are a lot more peaceful. They drive a lot slower.
A lot slower.
They have less gun violence.
South Dakota? Yeah, probably I'd say so.
And
compared to California?
They don't have a bar for every 6 adults like we have in Los Angeles. Last week, they said that they are going to stop issuing liquor licenses because they have too many businesses selling alcohol.
Really?
And they feel, they made the announcement a week ago today, last Thursday. I remember what day it was. Because when I hear news, I try to remember. They said they're going to stop issuing liquor licenses to new businesses because there's too much alcohol, and they definitely feel alcohol contributes to violence, not only on the street, but domestic violence, violence in driving, in stores. People get drunk, and what I've noticed is when people drink alcohol, whatever they do, it's an excuse. Oh, I know I knocked her down the steps, but I was drunk. And they think that, oh, you were drunk. Well, that's okay. I shot my wife in the head because she was in front of me, but I was drunk. It doesn't work like that. So I think out here, and we are really isolated. People in California don't look at the news outside the states. That was a really bad fart. I'm sorry. And so I'm really surprised. Did they say how much it's down by? Like 2% or 12%?
At least 20%.
Get it out.
You know, what are these numbers? But
20% is a lot.
it is a lot compared to sort of the overall population stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, 20%, right? Crazy stuff. Well, I'll tell you what. What it's also attributing to is more teens are learning how to drive in a safer condition. That's the second good news article for you. A lot more teens are surviving.
65% of accidents are caused by new drivers because they're not ready to handle emergency situations.
Your daughter's about to start her permit stuff, isn't she?
Yep. And right now I am spending every time we are in the car explaining the psychology of driving. Look at this guy. Tell me when the guy ahead of us is going to change lanes. And she's gotten to the point, this guy's going to put a signal on. She sees them lean in the direction when they're going. Subconsciously, people actually lean or steer in the direction they're going right before they put on their turn signal. So you can tell when somebody's coming over. So I'm teaching her that and how to watch him back and watch what this guy's doing.
Just getting her ready, just to not get out and start kicking wheels and doors.
Because she knows how to steer. She has sat down on those little video driving games. She sat down on one outside of a movie theater a couple weeks ago and won a free game. I didn't even know you could win a free game on video. And she did it. And then I went and won like 6 games on pinball.
Well, the researchers found that nearly 41% of the participants that got their license at or before age 16, and about 60% did so before age 18, had an 11% decrease of death since 2012.
Wow.
Crazy, right? Numbers.
But that's 2012. That's 7 years ago.
Yeah, that is true.
That's
that is
a
true.
long time.
We got to get some of this. We need to get more on this updated
I mean,
stuff.
most of those teenage drivers are
They're
dead.
dead.
They're dead from the accidents.
From heroin.
Yeah.
Oh, from that too. But
Well, you do heroin, you have accidents, you usually die. The needle breaks off in your arm. I've heard. I don't really know for sure.
Of course not. Of course not.
No.
No.
Although
Well, I tell
once-
you what.
I did once do heroin. I did Dilaudid. When
Oh.
I was younger, I tried every...
I don't know if Dilaudid is technically.
It is. It's pharmaceutical, same thing as heroin. Has the same effects. And here's why people like heroin. You ever been stuck in the car and you're driving and it's either pouring rain or snow and you can't stop and you got to pee really, really bad and you're closing, you're pushing your knees together and you're rocking in your seat and you're bouncing and you're praying, please don't let me leak on myself. And then when you finally stop and you start to pee and your body is like a deflating balloon, that feeling of ultimate comfort is what heroin feels like. And I've described that to people who have shot heroin, and they said that's exactly why it
Oh,
is.
yeah?
And that's why people get hooked on it. It's the ultimate euphoria.
I've never heard it described that way.
That's what I do. I talk with my mouth.
Is that why I found you asleep in the bathroom the other day?
That was a different situation.
Okay. All right.
You
Because
know.
the needle is plugged in a completely different
I know.
place.
I can't believe she left me in
It's
there.
not supposed to go down there.
No.
Well,
I
the
think
good
that-
news is our final topic, or good news, is bans on texting while behind the wheel statistically make roads safer.
Good.
New research suggests the answer is that an average of 8% fewer car crash victims are seen in emergency rooms due to those bans.
Can you say that again without slurring?
I could try, but that heroin thing really got me amped up. So the study says that states that have full bans in place have an average of 8% fewer car crash victims seen in emergency rooms.
To me, that's significant. Some people say 8% is not a lot, but that's a lot. That is a good amount. And
Are you a big texter, Barry? I see
No.
you texting all the time.
No.
Oh,
you don't.
no, that's
You
just
don't.
filling out all the porn.
I don't look at porn. It does nothing for me anymore.
Oh, yeah?
No, because
How do you feel about these teens looking at porn while they're driving?
I don't think it's good. I mean, I still hate when I pull up at a traffic light and the person next to me is sitting there looking at their phone. Now, the police are supposed to ticket you if they see you driving holding your phone. It doesn't matter if you're doing it. If you have it in your hand, it's a ticketable offense. One of the things the police are doing now after accidents is they look at your phone. They take your phone, they abscond with it, and they look to see what you were doing right before the accident.
Yeah, they do that now in court to see who's in trouble for the accident.
Right. So I think it's great that they're banning that. I wish they would do that here because the amount of people on their cell phones is ridiculous.
How do you feel about them instituting a policy where your phone can't text once it's moving a certain speed?
I think that's a great idea because a text, even if you're super fast, a text still takes 5 seconds, even if you're really good, unless you have some sort of program that like shoots a macro out. You type 3 letters and it types out a whole paragraph. And there are programs which can do that. If you need to be on your phone, then use something like that. There's a lot of programs called the macro where 3 or 4 letters types everything out, spaces it, formats it, underlines whatever. But yeah, it's become too dangerous. I mean, the amount of people that are on their phones all the time, especially teenagers. I said to my daughter today, can you do anything without looking at your phone? She goes, no. I go, so there's no time when you're not looking at your phone. Well, in school, we're not allowed. I said, but use it all the time. She goes, are you telling me, Dad, you don't look at your phone while you're on the toilet? I said, of course I do. I'm already looking down.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, we've got to get some sort of regulation in place because, look, I understand cell phones are part of life. And where was it? In 5 states, it is now illegal for a child 15 and down to touch their phone during school hours.
Illegal, huh?
Illegal. They can be suspended. They can pull them out of class. Now, here's the problem. If you take a phone away from a kid who's grown up, always having that phone in their hand, they freak out. An example. I was in the mall with my daughter, Glendale Galleria, which, by the way, is in Glendale. You can tell by the name. It's not near a place named Galleria, though. A boy, maybe 14 years old, was walking with a bunch of his buddies. He trips, drops his phone.
Oh, God. Did you trip him?
No.
Okay.
No. I took his money when he fell, though.
Of course.
But he fell, dropped his phone, and the screen shattered. He laid on his back next to it, kicking and screaming like a baby on his back.
Oh,
going,
my goodness.
My phone is broken. I can't breathe. Oh, my God. I'm going to die. And cried like a 4-year-old that lost its titty.
Like a baby.
Horrible. And this is what they become. Now, do you remember when cell phones became commonplace and all the adults had them? Now you can't see a millennial walking down the street without looking at their phone. You're out near Santa Monica now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was down there 2 blocks from the promenade, Santa Monica Promenade. I saw a millennial guy, looked like he was 25 years old, crossing the street, didn't look. The traffic light changed. The car started. He walked right into the side of the car, rolled over the hood, had his phone, came down on his feet, and kept walking.
Well, no, what?
Now,
Well done. By the way, you really took my...
Other end of the
All right,
spectrum. I've
as
seen
a
2
producer,
people.
I can't allow you to say these insane
No, I've
things
seen
to our
it.
listeners.
I've seen 2 other people that have walked into moving cars.
That's an
and got
action
hit.
movie. You're talking about John Wick that you saw. That's not a real thing.
I didn't see John Wick. And he's never seen me either. No, I saw that, and I watched 100 people as a group go, ah! Everybody was, because everybody, oh my God, oh my God. And he's just got his phone, and he's just walking, and the car stopped, but he hit the car. And he just bounced over and rolled off and came down and never looked up from his phone. But I've seen 2 other people hit it or get hit by the cars because they're not looking. I've seen people on the scooters on the sidewalk with their phones run into light poles. And I'm sorry, but that's funny.
That's funny.
That's funny.
That's fun. I can give the producer sign off on that.
Because they're
That's
not
hilarious.
supposed to be on the sidewalks anyway.
Yeah.
Do you ever have one go by and you just want to put your arm out and clothesline them?
Son of a bitch. They ought to
Is that
know.
wrong?
No. I
No.
mean, well, from a producer standpoint, yeah.
When you were little, where I was, we had an alleyway in back of our houses, and cars would drive down the alleyway. We would have 3 guys get on each side of the alleyway, and when a car would come down, we would act like we had an invisible rope, and we would stand up and yell, pull, and make the cars stop.
Hey, that's some Great Depression fun right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good old fashioned.
I
That's good old fashioned kidney beans in a can, pocket full of dreams.
Oh, yeah.
Shenanigans.
talking through 2 cans with a string attached. I remember.
Hello, Mr. Operator.
I remember taking
Perry here.
I took a refrigerator box and I put windows in it and made a rocket ship.
My man. Well,
yeah.
what is your final thoughts and advice for all of our drivers, new and old?
All right, first thing you need to do is get headphones or a Bluetooth. Don't have a phone near your ear because it's proven, and you can look up the facts, if you're holding something in your hand, it is taking between 18 and 24% of your concentration.
That's why you're in the bathroom for so long.
What?
That's why you're in the bathroom for so long.
Well, I'm using both hands there. But yeah, if you're holding your phone, you are not concentrating on the road. And with things happening in front of you and on both sides of you and in back of you, you need to be looking on all four sides. And people think, oh, I can do it. I'm only going to look down for a second. Well, while you're driving in traffic and somebody cuts you out, that's your split second. You're done. So get a phone holder. Put it up where it's eye level so you don't have to look down. What I've done with my cell phone is I've gotten Velcro, the same color as the case. There's the soft and there's the sticky, the thick Velcro that it sticks to. I put the soft Velcro on the back of my phone. I put a strip of the hard Velcro that it sticks to on the top of my dashboard. So when I want to put my phone up there, I just throw it at the dashboard and it sticks.
Bam.
And it stays in place.
Sure, I think they actually have an invention like that already.
They have a little pad that you can put down and it'll stick to the pad.
But they don't
only
have
if
a
you
Perry
lay it
Kurtz
on.
original.
They don't have that. I mean, you can see that right there. Just 2 strips, and it stays in place. Wow. So, yeah, definitely got to do something about the cell phones and driving in particular. The other thing is the drivers out here, they're horrible. The other bad cars are the wealthy people who think they can drive any way they want because if they get a ticket, they can pay it. That would be the BMWs and the Mercedes-Benzes. Again, black and white are the extremes, and the tinted windows. And the worst drivers, the most aggressive, are the Dodges, the ones with the taillights that goes all the way across. There's the Dodge Charger, the Dodge Challenger, and the Dodge Cherkoff.
All right, you're sundowning over here. Here's all right. Well, that's been our time here on today's episode of Happy News. Perry, what do you have to plug?
Well, let's see. There's this show, of course, Happy News with Perry Kurtz, which is available almost everywhere. There's also This, That, and the Other, and the Binge on this channel on YouTube. You can always look me up on YouTube. I've got over 650 videos at Perry Kurtz, spelled PerryKurtz. You can find me anywhere as Perry Kurtz. I use the same name. I'm branded. But if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see my stand-up, you'll see my karaoke, you'll see my daughter dancing, and you'll even see our podcasts. So thank you for listening. Please be careful. Please take care of each other because some of us can't take care of ourselves.
Bye-bye.